G'day, welcome to Country Life on the Coast. Today we're going to start our next project, which is a fencing of our property. We've bought these posts. They're 100mm round posts, 2.4 metres long. They're going to be our fence posts, and they're also going to be a top rail as well, all the way around. And then we'll put wire mesh in between them. So we're going to dig our holes with our Ryobi digging and planting tool. We've done a review on the Ryobi planting and digging tool, so we'll link to that. If you haven't seen it, recommend to have a look. And we're going to see how that really performs, digging all of these holes. So these posts we bought, they're seconds. So some of them are not the best condition, but they will do for what we're going to use them for. And we're going to start right up the backyard, and we're going to use these ones that don't look the nicest right up the back so that no one else will see them. And I'm also going to use that as a practice by doing it up the back, because I haven't used these as fencing before, and it will be good practice before we come and do the front where everyone will see. So we'll get into it. Alright, so we're in the backyard, which is where we're going to put these first posts, and I've just knocked up a little template to guide me as to how deep, so I'll make them all the same depth. So I'm going to put them at 700mm, and I find using little jigs like this just make it simple, and that way they're all the same as well. So I'll use that for my depth. Once I start drilling, I'll just check, make sure I'm nice and level. So I've got my little level down here. We have 5 holes to dig down here just for this little section. So we'll get into it, I think. We seem to have hit something solid. I'm not sure if it's an old tree or what, but we might try hole 2 and see how we go. So I've had to resort to the old-fashioned post hole digger, just to get that a little bit deeper, and try and see what's down there as well. See why we can't get a bit deeper, so see how we go with these. Maybe 550, 600mm if we're lucky. Alright, we'll move on. Alright, I think that'll do for that one. So I found that time to just let the machine do all the work, don't push down on it all, and it just chews itself down and keeps pulling that out quite easily. So I've learned something then. Alright, do the next one. One thing I will say, it chews through the batteries a bit. I'll grab the other one. I've gone through two 2.5 amp hour batteries this afternoon, digging basically 3 holes. I'm not quite sure how Roby reckoned you could dig 40 holes at 400mm deep with a 5 amp hour battery, unless you're digging in mulch maybe and don't have to work the machine at all. Admittedly, I'm working it hard, a bit hard through the clay, but wow. Alright, we'll put these on charge and come back later. Alright, so this one here, this hole, it's just over 600mm, so it's sort of the shallowest one we've got, but 600mm is still pretty good for a straight line fence post. And then all the rest are 650 to just shy of 700, sort of 680mm. So I'm going to bring some posts down, we'll sit them in there, get a couple of supports to hold them level, and we'll get all this ready for concreting. Have all our posts sitting in the holes, and yep, there's the 5. So I'll go and get some braces, we'll hammer in and attach to them to hold them in the right spot, and then we're right for concreting. I just brought my timber and clamps and hammer, everything in the wheelbarrow, rather than doing a few trips. Anything to make life a little bit easier, always recommend doing that. So we're just going to level these posts, make sure they're vertical, and that's what this tool's for. We'll just attach it with a rubber band over the post, and then just a simple level gauge to show how we're sitting. So quick and simple, extremely cheap, but very effective. And so we just look at the levels. I'll get a couple of braces on it, and then yeah, we'll use the levels to get it right. So always test fit first. If you just saw, if I had screwed this in first, this one wasn't going to fit and reach the ground. So that's why I'm just clamping it initially. I'll put a couple of screws in them now that I'm confident that it'll hold it at this point, and then we'll level it from there. level to you? The level says it's level. So today it's time to mix up some concrete and set those posts in. So we'll get into it straight away. One thing you should always remember to do before you start concreting is check that the front tyre has air pressure in it. This one's a bit low at the moment, so it's very hard to push, but oh well, we'll continue on. Alright, here we have it. All the posts are now concreted in, all these 5. Didn't take too long, which was good. And I've just checked them to make sure they're all still level. So they are seconds, as I had mentioned previously, so they're not perfectly straight anyway. So just using the level and use your eye as well to make them look right. And they were spot on, so I'm happy with it. There's a couple of learnings I've found so far. Is I should have started with just doing the end post and then drill the holes for the other ones once I'd already installed that. That is because the auger that I'm using is only the 150mm, so I don't have a lot of wiggle room, so I have to be spot on. So I've learnt that. We'll improve that for next time and put the 2 end posts in first next time when we do it, and then run our string line off those, which I sort of knew already, but I was just trying to get this done so that, well, we can test and see what else I can learn as I go along. It's all the learning, I don't mind it. So we'll let this concrete set, come back in a couple of days and put the top rail on, and then put some mesh on too, and see how it looks. Alright, we'll catch you later. God bless.